Well, good morning, everyone. Michael Fausti joining you from Thailand. I know we've got people from all parts of the world today, from Japan, Netherlands, Denmark. So I really appreciate you joining us at this hour of the day. My mission today is to help you understand all the ins and outs of the Forex packs, the promo, and address some of the most common questions that have come up so far as well. So it's very informal, but I hope that you'll find it very informative as we move through this. So the questions I want to tackle today are things like, how do the packs and the promo work? Should you buy if you do not intend to refer? Because some people, they say, look, I have no intention of referring anybody. I'm just in this for myself. That's okay. Is there a benefit of taking advantage of the promo? Should you buy if you do intend to refer? And what if you already have an existing organization that's in your matrix, or maybe you've got some people that have actually spilled over into your group? What should you do? How you could earn with no referrals, is that a possibility? And what sort of trading results with the Forex packs are expected? And what happens if you don't participate? And that's okay. My job today is not to convince you to participate. It's to make sure that you have enough information to make an informed decision about this. I'm just going to switch off my video so we can make sure we've got a strong connection. So that's my mission today, and we'll have a chance at the end to answer any questions that are not answered. So when we look at d.ai.sy, the first thing is that we're a crowdfunding organization with crowdfunding tiers, and I've noticed through the questions that have come through different groups that some people have not quite grasped yet that there is one team structure, there is one actual genealogy for the entire business. There's not different matrices and different genealogies for different products. In other words, whether we started off with the actual crypto packs, and then we moved into Forex, and in the future we'll actually move into commodities and stocks. And all of those are just products, like the token packs we had actually back in July. They're just products like any existing network marketing organization. If you look at as far as a wellness company, and they might launch their skincare and hair care, they're just another product going through the same compensation plan, the same pay plan, and the same genealogy. So I want to make sure that's clear from the start. And we have 10 generations of actual contribution, or 10 tiers, sorry, that are actually where we actually contribute. So we started off with the crypto, 10 tiers, and then we moved into the token packs, and now we're moving into the Forex. And each of those packs, in terms of Forex and crypto, give you equity shares in the IPO. It's going to happen with Intertech next year. And they have a portion of that contribution that goes into the trading account. And as we know, 50% of that contribution from the first 7 tiers goes into the trading account, and 70% of the funds go in the top 3 tiers. So, for example, like ourselves, we went tier 10 from day one, 102,000. That meant 69,000 has gone into the trading account, and the balance is gone through the referral pay plan back into d.ai.sy Crowd. So that's actually remunerating everybody for sharing this with other people, because the outcomes we've achieved of 151,000 people participating, 200 million plus funds actually being raised, that wouldn't happen unless people were incentivized to do that. So that's how that works. So when you get started with the Forex packs, basically you'll log into your back office, and you have to at least have had tier 1 purchased in the current crypto packs. So if somebody was totally brand new, they would have to have to fund tier 1 in the crypto before they would see or be able to participate in the Forex. So let's work on the assumption that you've already done at least tier 1 in the crypto. Then you'll basically see a Forex tab now when you click on tier 1, or when you click on any of the 10 tiers, actually, you'll see there's a Forex tab. So it's important so how do you get started in accessing the Forex packs? You click on tier 1, and that brings up this, and click on Forex. So basically you'll see the tab there. And then you'll be asked to contribute. Now, there'll be a number of steps. There'll be 2 steps. There'll be 2 little pop-ups that'll pop up and ask you to confirm to connect to the smart contract. But there'll be one final stage that you can't do right now that'll occur from November 1. What's basically happening is that they're going to actually run, as far as the pay plan for the matrix commissions and the matching commissions, on November 1. And in order for that to happen, the smart contract needs to be triggered to distribute all the funds upline. So on November 1, if you try to log into your back office, you'll be forced,
and a new day.
You'll be forced to basically confirm all of the tiers that you've purchased in Forex. So if you went tier 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, there'll be 5 confirmations. That'll do 2 things. One, it'll actually disperse all the commissions upline. And secondly, it'll move the funds from your contribution into the trading account. So I want you to note that if you want your funds to be in the trading fund to go to work with Forex, you need to make sure on November 1 or anytime after that, that you click on that final confirmation to allow that to happen. It's a critical step. Otherwise, it'll actually, as far as delay potentially, how soon your funds go to work. What I've been told is they expect to start trading around mid-November. They originally were aiming for November 1, but basically because of a lot of things that need to happen, around mid-November is when it'll start. And what sort of results are we expecting? Well, basically, you may or may not be aware that Dr. Anna actually comes from a Forex background. When we got involved with Daisy, we'd already been researching Endotech before we even knew about Daisy, because we've been running some private projects to do with trading Forex and cryptocurrency with my business partners. And we actually been, my business partner who does all the analyticals and the research and all the due diligence on our different trading solutions, had come across Endotech. And in that due diligence, what we realized is Dr. Anna, in her first technology company, Strategy Runner, was based around Forex, and she sold that. So she's had in close to 2 decades of experience in the Forex area. So that actually gives a lot of comfort that she's already got a very strong track record, a very intimate knowledge of how the Forex works. So when they were developing the actual strategies for the Daisy side of things with Forex, they back tested the data against the last few years of what's happened in the Forex industry. So it's basically taking their all the algorithms and saying, if we had applied that algorithm over the last few years, what would their average result have been? And they showed that in some of the live Zooms corporately, but basically we're looking around 180, 190% per annum. Now, obviously, past performance does not always dictate future results, but that should give an indication of basically what the outcome will be. So somewhere in the 10 to 15% per month is realistic. And obviously this is a AI in development. The whole purpose of the trading fund is to have a fund where the AI can learn and grow and be developed to ultimately produce something that's going to accelerate the results and grow the results much larger than what they've been able to do in the past. You know, they're not trying to repeat their past, they're trying to do better than their past. And obviously that's the goal. But they also have another challenge, and I think a lot of people aren't aware of this. You know, we all want great trading results, but we also don't want to lose our money. So as Dr. Anna has explained many, many times, and particularly in there, if I encourage you, if you haven't already, listen to the keynote speech that she gave in Dubai for the Daisy Leadership event. It's a really powerful video. And one of the core things come across there, she says, you know, she carries a heavy burden of the fact that she's responsible for 151,000 plus accounts. And when you're talking to more mature investors, you know, she's normally dealing with $1 million plus people, $1 million accounts plus. Those sort of people actually know how to manage risk, you know, and typically if they push the boundaries and they lose their money, They don't make a lot of noise. They basically accept the risks. But trust me, after 31 years of network marketing and being involved in crypto the last 6 years and Forex and other things, I can tell you that if she blew that account, all the $100 accounts would be the loudest voices. They would be the ones who would complain the most. They'd be going to regulators, they would go to the media, they would go to every possible channel, every social channel, and they'd be bad-mouthing this whole thing and causing trouble. So it's important to put yourself in Dr. Anna's shoes, that as she and her team work towards the results, she has to be very mindful of the fact that she's going to do an IPO. She's got your interests at heart. She takes that very seriously. And so the primary motivation is always to protect the capital, protect the fund, while also doing her best to grow the results. So I think that's really important that we always take that into account when we're assessing the results. But so far, where the results are on track. So let's look at the referral pay plan just to get an idea of the benefits for those who may be considering referring or are actively referring. So as we know, we've got 10 generations in this pay plan of referral, and there's a number of people in each of those generations: 3, 9, 27, 81. So it's a total of 88,000 people that you can potentially earn on. In the first tier, there's no qualifications in the first matrix. So there's actually $344,000 of income potential that you can earn in the first tier, just a $100 contribution with no qualifications at all. And in fact, in the first 2 tiers within the second matrix, all you have to do is meet the personal requirements of referrals. You don't need to meet the actual referral contribution totals. So if you had 24 people who bought a $100 tier, you would earn all 10 generations in the first matrix and the second. Those first 2 matrices, there's $1 million of potential income from the matrix commissions alone, just one of the commissions. So the reason I'm saying that is a lot of people think that they need to contribute a lot of money to make a lot of money. That's partially true. Obviously, with larger contributions, you're making larger payouts, but you could still start with a little bit of funds and duplicate that through a lot of people. The odds of a lot of people being able to put in $100 is pretty high. The odds of people being able to put in $52,000 for a tier 10 contribution are not as high. So I'm saying this to let you know that over the long haul, if you're consistent and persistent and you continue to build your organization and duplicate that, there is some very good income potential available in this. So when you go to tier 5 in the Forex, you basically get the benefit as if you had purchased all 10 tiers. I said, when we started, we put 102,300 in and we got placed into all 10 matrices. So we had to outlay 102,000 to do that. You get the advantage that if you only put in 3,100, the 100, 200, 400, 800, 600, you get placed into all of these 10 tiers. Now, obviously, these free positions don't make any money. They're not generating commissions upline because there's no money being collected, but you're placed into the structure. And what that means is that if anybody in your team structure, let's say this is you at the top here, and let's say this person here who got spilled over underneath you, let's say that they did end up buying tier 10. Well, you would earn off that, even though you didn't pay for a tier 10 contribution. You would earn off that. And you actually earn on the first 2 generations of all 10 matrices or matrices, all 10 with no referrals. So if by some chance somebody spilled over some people underneath you into these empty positions in the first 2 generations, you would earn off them in all 10 tiers. So my question to you is this, that you might be asking, well, I'm not going to refer anybody. So is there any benefit for me for doing this? My experience in 31 years full-time in industry is that a lot of people say they're not going to refer anybody, but never is never, never. Never is never, never. Because what it means is that circumstances change. People become happy with the results. They see over time that it's working. They're having casual conversations with people, sharing what they're doing, and people say, hey, that sounds pretty good. Can I do that as well? And they go, yeah, I suppose you can. And people start to refer. Or maybe they're just cautious. Maybe they've had some bad experiences and they just want to sit for a while, and they weren't intending to refer, but they get confident. They start hearing more positive things again and again and again. So what you're doing here is, if you can go the 5 tiers in the Forex and secure your potential earnings in all 10 matrices, you're securing your future to earn off all the products. You earn off all the crypto tiers. You earn off all the Forex tiers. And you could potentially earn off all the tiers that'll be developed for the stocks and commodities down the track when they bring in other asset classes. Remember, Endotech's plan used to move into commodities and stocks later on. So what you're doing is you're ensuring that you have the capacity to earn. And not only that, like I said, you may never refer anybody, but you may get spillover in all of these matrices. And unlike before, where you had to pay for all those tiers, the biggest tier contributions, you're now getting a free pass. You're getting a free pass, being positioned, and the capacity to earn. So just give me a yes in the chat if that makes sense, that there is a benefit if you're not even referring, you're basically locking in your potential for the future. And if you don't refer at any stage, picking up some free money from the spillover is not a bad thing either. So should you buy if you do not intend to refer? Well, again, it's a personal decision, but I've shown you that there is some benefits. Should you buy if you intend to refer? Of course, because you've got the capacity to earn off the full scope of the pay plan, the full scope of all the contributions to the crowd fund in all the asset classes, in crypto, Forex, and the future ones they bring as well. So that makes a lot of sense. And if you have people in your existing matrix, the beauty about this is that you are going to basically earn on the max amount of people. See, if you look at this tier 10 matrix here, they're going to run the pay plan as if it was tier 1 matrix being mirrored across all of these. What does that mean? It means in your tier 1, that's where you have the maximum amount of people, and that's where you have nobody jumping over you. In other words, everybody starts with tier 1. So your total organization is going to be in tier 1. But in tier 2, some people might have upgraded before you and they've jumped ahead of you. So you've missed that benefit to have them underneath you in your team. But they're going to run the pay plan for all these promo pack purchases as if they were all in tier 1. So you're going to get the maximum amount of payout on all of these tiers, which is very generous of them. So it's making sure that even though some people may have upgraded their Forex tiers and so forth ahead of you in this period, so for the future, they may have jumped you. But for any purchases made in this period, you're going to be able to pick that up. So if you have people in your matrix, you definitely want to make sure that you capitalize by getting as many tiers as you can. If you can go to tier 5 in the Forex, do that. I'm not a believer in putting yourself at risk. If spending that sort of money puts you at risk, don't do it. But in the end, it's a personal choice. If you want to purchase beyond tier 5, you can do that as well. I mean, there's nothing stopping you from purchasing tier 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. But for now, the promo is based around the first 5 tiers. How can you earn with no referrals? Well, we just showed you that, basically, that the spillover from above, as people above you are more active, their people can spill over into your matrix and you can earn off that because you're placed in that matrix as if you had paid for the tier, but you're getting a free pass. We talk about the trading results. So what happens if you do not participate in Forex? Well, it means that 2 things. you need to have a Forex pack to earn off Forex packs. So let's say you got Forex pack number 1, you could earn on all Forex packs from tier 1. If you got Forex packs 1 and 2, you would earn, sorry, I'll start again. If you do just tier 1 Forex, you get matrix 1 and they give you a bonus into matrix 2, a free position. If you do Forex 1 and 2, you get another free pass into number 3. If you do 1, 2, and 3, you get a free pass number 4. So you get an extra 1, but if you do all 5, you get the whole 10. But if you don't do the upgrades into Forex, you're going to miss out on it. And not only that, if you don't do the whole 5 before November 1, by the end of October 31st, you're going to have to pay for the higher tiers to earn on the Forex and the higher tiers. Let's say you only went to tier 4 in the Forex. November 1 comes along and somebody in your team upgrades into, tier 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. You wouldn't earn on that from the Forex. And also the Forex gives you if you do the Forex promo, you earn on all the crypto and all the Forex tiers on both. Okay. What I want to do now is talk about something to show you how both a passive person and an active person can really create a life-changing income, because a lot of people think that basically they got a small amount of money. How am I ever really going to grow that into something substantial? And Dr. Anna gave a great keynote speech about this. I've been self-employed now for 37 years. And one thing I've really learned through my journey of ups and downs is that there's really only 2 ways to build cash flow and wealth. You either have a lot of money, a lot of capital, property, crypto, precious metals, whatever, and you put that to work and that develops cash flow for you, or you have a little bit of capital and you leverage other people's time and capital and grow that through growing a referral network or whatever you need to do to build your amount of capital, so you ultimately end up with enough capital passively earning you money. Passive income can only come 2 ways, basically leveraging other people's time and money or having a lot of funds going to work for you. Dr. Anna talked about this multiplier of 402. Her and her entire team of analysts, researchers, quants, AI scientists crunched the numbers with her and said, what would be a model that could help people accelerate wealth building? So over a 10-year period, what she said is if you have these 3 factors present, you could end up with a multiplier effect of 402. In other words, take $1,000. Most people can find $1,000. No matter where you live in the world, for some parts of the world, in Africa, Southeast Asia, Latin America, it can be a lot. But if they needed to, they could probably build up to $1,000. Over a 10-year period to grow that to 402,000. 402 may retire you in some countries, but a lot of modern Western countries won't retire you, but it could change your quality of life. I'll give you an example. We have a Cayman Islands fund. It's an offshore fund, and that we've taken advantage of, and it pays 25% per annum. But you need to have 100,000 minimum. Well, if you had 400K put in that, that would give you $100,000 a year of passive income. How would you like $100,000 of passive income, whether you get out of bed or not? But you have to have that much capital to start with. So what have you done in the last 10 years that's put some funds to work, that's growing to a point where you have sufficient capital that you can put that to work? So what she says here is in order for this multiplier to happen, you need 3 key things. There needs to be less than a 50% risk to the funds. Well, I've already told you that how Dr. Anna has been very, very careful with the fund. And she's taken an actually more conservative approach with all the strategies. So I think she's a good shepherd, a good steward of the funds, and there's a less than 50% risk. Need 137% per annum profit net or more. Well, we're on track for that with the crypto fund. The backtracking of the back testing, of the Forex has shown that. So you would say that that's definitely in the realm of possibilities, and she's averaged about 200% per year historically as well. So that's definitely in the realm of possibilities. Is there an 85% probability or greater that she can achieve that profit? And based on past performance, she's been able to achieve that consistently year after year, regardless of market conditions. So these three factors are there. So it's a good probability that if you put those funds to work with Indotech, with the crypto and the Forex, these are a likely outcome. Now, I will accept that we live in a very instant world where 10 years seems like an eternity. But I know at my stage of life, being 58 this year, that I look back and you go, 10 years can go pretty fast, and you can go through a 10-year period where not much changes. In fact, sometimes you can just go backwards. So, are you prepared to put something, which is not a lot of money? We're talking about $1,000, but what if, and with the 5 tiers that we're putting to Forex, we're talking about 3,100 contribution to the crowd fund and 1,550 going to work. Well, that multiplied by 402 is 623 net over 10,000, 623K. And like I said, there are places out there where you can get 10 to 25% per year. And that would put you in the realm of 60 to 150K a year passive income. And I'm talking about something that's fully insured, licensed, regulated, risk-free. So, but you have to get to that stage. So give me a yes in the chat. Would you be prepared to wait 10 years with just as little as a couple of $1,000 and build that grow to a point where you were able to have a passive income of maybe 60, 100, 150K come in every year, whether you spend every day at the beach, playing golf, whatever you wanted to do? Give me a yes in the chat if that's something that is worth reaching towards. And we're assuming this is after the performance fee has been deducted. Yes, and Dave says even at his age, he's a young man, we know. So basically 623,000 net is after the 30% performance fee. That means that they would have generated 890,000. That performance fee would have been 267,000 over the 10 years. So over 10 years, the performance fee would have been deducted. We know every 6 months, it gets actually deducted from the profits, and that would leave your net of 623. So half of that performance fee goes to the referral pay plan. The other half goes to Indotech for generating the profit and to help them grow their company. So the 133,000 over that 10-year period is going through the pay plan. So let's say, let me ask you a question. Do you know of at least 3 people who will be prepared to put 3,100 to work to grow it into 600K so they could get to a stage where they could live off a passive income for the rest of their life? You know 3 people? You think it's conceivable that there's 3 people out there you can find that would do that? I think it's conceivable. And do you think that those 3 people know 3 people each and those 9 know 3 each? I think it's very conceivable, and I know it's definitely a case, particularly now in these COVID times when everybody has been financially damaged. So the 402, like I said, is that multiplier effect when you have those 3 things in place: less than 50% risk to the funds, an average profit of more than 137%, and 85% or more % probability of that happening. Dr. Anna has done her maths on past performance and the rest of it, and has said that if those 3 factors are there, if you put $1,000 to work with her and didn't withdraw, we're not, this is not withdrawing any profits. This is just putting that money in there and not touching it for 10 years. It would multiply with compounding up to 402,000. So the 402 is a multiplier effect. This is not you pulling money out. This is saying, I'm going to put 3,100 in there, 1,550 goes to the trading fund. I'm not intending to deduct any profit. I'm going to just let this grow and not touch it for 10 years. Does that make sense? So let's assume that these 39 people, the 3, 9, and 27, each got the Forex packs 1 to 5. Now, this doesn't matter whether they do it now in the promo period or whether they do it next month or next year. We're just assuming that at some stage they're going to do they're going to contribute 3,100. Maybe they get some crypto packs rather than Forex, up to them. But each person is contributing 1,550 to the trading pool. So each person is going to grow their 1,550 to their 623,000 over 10 years. They're happy. I mean, why wouldn't they be happy? That's a great outcome. But we also had that performance fee being deducted for each person along the journey, which means we've got half of that going to the pay plan. So what happens is you're going to earn 3.5% of that 133,000 from each of your 3 personal referrals. And that's going to generate $14,000 over that 10-year period. Not a lot, but it's basically passive, free money. All we did was refer them and they're happy because they're getting a great result as well. The next 9 people, you're going to earn 1% of that 133,000 from the performance fee. And the next, you're going to get another 1% of those 27. So that's going to end up with a total of 62,000. There's 120 months, 10 years times 12 months. That's an average of 517,000 a month coming in over that 10 years, completely passive. So not only have you turned your 3,100 into potentially 600K plus, but you've also been building up a nice little residual income along the way. Now, what happens if maybe those 27 referred 3 each and went 1 level deeper? Or what if they all upgraded to maybe tier 6? They will all just grow this income. So again, I'm not promising you these numbers. I'm just taking the maths of what Dr. Anna talked about with the 402 model, how the referral pay plan works, and how you can build something small into something great. It takes patience and time. Most people don't have the patience. Now, obviously, if you have higher tiers, you've got more funds going to work. If you build a bigger network and have more referrals, you're going to grow this faster. But I think this is a realistic plan that's in the realm of every average person out there, how you define average, but I think it's within the realm of everybody to achieve with help. If you had your support team, like ourselves, helping you along this road, you're plugging into our systems, you're being coached, trained, and mentored along the way, this is within the realm of possibilities. It's not requiring you to give up your job, your business, whatever you're doing today. So we've talked about how the packs work, that basically Forex, crypto, whatever else comes along, goes through the same genealogy, through the same pay plan. Should you buy if you don't intend to refer? Well, yes, you can benefit from the spillover and you're securing your full potential income for the entirety of the DAISY project. If you are intending to refer, definitely it makes sense. If you have people in your existing organization, if they're buying Forex packs, you don't want to miss out on the income from that. So it makes sense. And that's going to subsidize your cost. Think about it. If people in your team have been buying the Forex tiers, you're earning off that. Well, that's income you're getting that can be offsetting your 3,100. And you can earn with no referrals from the spillover. We talked about the trading results and what you get if you don't participate in the deal. So what I'd like to do now is we're going to open it up to any questions you've got so I can make sure that you leave this session today with all your questions answered. You can either unmute yourself and speak, or you can type in a question. So was that Sumaya? If you want to, you can unmute yourself, or you can.
Sumaya, yeah, I have some questions,
Sure.
Michael. You had a sheet where it was said $1,550 times 402.
Yep.
And what is the 402? That number? Yeah.
So I'm saying here, this is the 402. So what Dr. Anna is talking about is, if you have over a 10-year period, if you put funds to work with a less than 50% risk to the funds, you're annually generating more than 137% profit, and there's an 85% probability of that happening, you've got a pretty good outcome that you could multiply whatever you've started with by 402 times over a 10-year period.
402 times.
Because you're compounding your results. You're putting, so if you earn 137% this year, that's adding to your balance. The next year, you've got your initial balance plus the profit. And the next year, the past profits. So you're compounding your results. So through the power of compounding your profits, they would multiply your initial start off amount by 402 times over a 10-year period.
Okay.
Does it make sense?
Yeah, well, I'm counting like, okay, 10 years, it's like 12 months in a year, you know, that's how I'm counting. So I didn't get the 400.
So what I recommend is do it actual, as far as a calculator, get a calculator and take $1,000 and multiply that, let's say the average of 10% per month, okay? And multiply that by 110%, okay? So you're going to say you're getting 10% profit, and do that 120 times and you'll be blown away with the numbers. The compounding, Einstein said, is the 8th wonder of the world. It's such a powerful thing that most people don't understand it because they don't have the patience. They want to make the money today. But if you in the earlier stages, the compounding doesn't look like it's showing a lot of result. But as you start to multiply, it's the old saying, like, if I offered you $1 million right now today, or I offered you 1 cent doubling over 30 days, which would you have? And the 1 cent becomes $5 million, doubling every day. Just the power of compounding.
Okay.
Does that help?
Yeah, it does. Thank you.
Right.
Another question I have is the 4,000K in 10 years, or 600,000K in 10 years. Is it when you refer people, or is it also when
that's what, no referrals. This is just talking about Dr. Anna growing that in the trading fund. So let's say that you didn't refer a soul. Let me just go to the next slide. So this result here is you buying the 5 Forex packs, 1550 into the trading fund. That amount that's gone into the trading fund, that's being multiplied by 402, because that's the multiplier effect of her putting those funds to work over 10 years with her trading, giving you a net result of that. Again, these are just actual hypotheticals. They're not, guaranteed outcomes, but applying her principle, that is your net outcome. But that's on the assumption that you don't withdraw anything.
Yeah.
And like I was saying, it's like putting money aside that you don't have to worry about. It's your coffee money that you don't have to think about for the next 10 years.
Yeah, but you do have a possibility to get money out of the system.
Yeah, as long as you have a minimum of $20 of profit, you can draw it out. But every time you withdraw, you're negatively impacting the power of compounding.
Yeah. The powerful speech about Anna, where can we find it? We find it.
We've got it in our Facebook group. We've got it in our Telegram channels and on the official Telegram channel, and also on the official YouTube channels. So if you do a search for Daisy Global,
Tycho, or can you put the link in the chat, please?
Did you get to our session from our Facebook group or from our Telegram group?
From Koen Turlings. You talked to him.
Okay.
He's already in Daisy. He just stepped in a few days ago.
Okay, no worries. With YouTube, if you just type into YouTube, Dr. Anna Dubai, Dr. Anna Becker.
Okay, then
Dubai,
I already find it.
You'll find that video. It's about an hour long, but trust me, it'll just give you such a it was one of the best presentations I've seen on wealth, and it gives you a good, honest sense of who Dr. Anna is and what she's trying to achieve. And we already had a very high level of respect and faith in her, but that presentation just took to a whole new level.
Okay, yeah. And the whole goal of this project is
the goal,
to create a community, or like, what is the main goal of Daisy? What is the main goal of this?
As far as the crowd fund, well, I mean, look at it as far as the crowd fund organization is like a venture capital group. We are, rather than a venture capital company made up of 4 partners with $20 million each, we are a group of people, 151,000 growing, that are contributing towards projects. So Endotech is one of those projects, and they're developing the AI technology, and we're actually crowdfunding that. And there's 2 goals. The funds that have been raised have been put, there's $10 million going towards the development of the AI technology, enhancing it, and $500 million going into a trading fund so the AI can be used in that trading fund. And the benefit we get is we get equity shares in their IPO next year, and we also get the passive trading rewards as that AI trades in that trading fund. So that's totally passive. So we're just like a normal crowd fund. If you were crowdfunding a brand new microphone, for your phone, and you might get a free version of that for the rest of your life. Well, in our sense, we get equity shares and we get passive trading rewards as our benefit.
Okay, thank you.
My pleasure. Anybody else? So, and somebody's put the link in there. So thank you, Dave.
Yes,
You're a blessing.
Thank you, David.
Anybody else? Don't leave this call with unanswered questions. It's really important. I mean, again, end of the day, my job is not to convince you to do this. I just want to make sure that you have enough information to make an informed decision. That's my attitude all along. I never take ownership of other people's decisions. I never try to convince anybody. I'm a big believer it's not our job to convince anybody. It's our job to sift and sort and to attract the people who are looking for opportunity, willing to take action and make their own decisions and own that decision. And I think that's really a critical approach to how you build. There's no other questions. I will let you get on with your day. I'm going to put the recording up as well. So if you feel like you need to go over it again, I'll put that online. It'll be in our Facebook group. If you do a Facebook search, if you're not in our group, go to Crowd Tycoons. Our brand name is Crowd Tycoons. You'll see Facebook. And we've got a YouTube channel as well, Crowd Tycoons as well. And you can get it there. Well, it's been my pleasure to host you today. I appreciate you taking time out of your day to join me, and I wish you all the best in your success. Just important from timeline point of view, the promo runs out 11:59 p.m. UTC time this Sunday, October 31. So you need to take action before then, and make sure if you do get the Forex packs that you come back on November 1 and do the final confirmation, and then you're done. And away you go. Have a great weekend, everyone, and I look forward to my next opportunity to talk with you. Take care.
Thanks, Michael. Thanks.
And I just realized that I forgot to record.
Thank you, Michael.
My pleasure. Take care.
Cheers.
Thanks.
Hi, Rohini.
Oh, no, I did record. Sorry. I did record. Sorry.
Yeah, he said it was recording, Michael. So
Yeah,
it should be
I
recording.
couldn't see it. I realized I had.